Welcome back to my channel, Pretty Inspired Decor. My name is Shelley and I'm absolutely thrilled that you have joined me today to see part one of my two-part video on how I decorate my living room for fall and for Halloween. So the first part of my video is the fun and the whimsical part. This part's really for my grandchildren and my adult children too, because they love all of this. And I love it too. But if you just think, if you were a 2-year-old little boy, how much you would love to open the door to your Nana's house and see this fireplace as it greets you. You will notice that I decorate my fireplace a little differently than the way some others do. You certainly could put your garland up here, as many people do, but I choose to swag my garlands because for me that allows me to decorate the top of my fireplace with all kinds of interesting things. If I were to take a garland that's this wide and this thick, I couldn't possibly get all of these pretty things that I have on top of my fireplace. So I tend to do fireplaces more with swagging garland than with garland that's actually on top of the fireplace mantle. So if you take a look at this garland, I purchased this garland this year at Michael's. They had such pretty and fun garland. Things always have to be pretty for me to buy it. I don't like sort of ugly Halloween looks, you know, where they're ugly witches and ugly goblins. That's really not me. So I thought this was so pretty. You'll notice that this particular garland came with some pumpkins and a few little things, but of course I had to embellish it because I am a maximalist, I am not a minimalist, so I like to add things to whatever it is that I buy. So one of the things that I added were these this is a pick, 3 little pumpkins in this pick, and notice they match beautifully into the ribbon that was already on the garland. I also added these fun little witch legs and feet and the witch's hat, some more, another little pick, just to give it more sparkle and to fill it in a little bit more. I always add twinkle lights, and so I've got those, and you know, I hope you can see them because they are on. On the other side, you'll notice it's actually an entirely different garland. This side has pumpkins and some things. This side has candy corn and some other things. And again, I've added the same embellishments, but in some different colors. So that witch's hat is black and white, whereas on the other side, it was in orange and black that you've already seen. I've added the picks again. I've added the little witch's legs again, just to make it fun. And I brought it all together by making this bow. That's what ties the two together. Luckily, I found ribbon that works. Okay, it actually kind of matches the ribbon that was already inside of this garland. On top of my fireplace, I have all kinds of fun. So one of the first things I did this year is I made these lanterns. They were inspired off of Arlene, who makes wonderful things. She has a channel as well. And you will notice that inside this lantern, I have put, a little bit hard to open, oh, I'll get it open. I have put a candle. I have put a little sign that says boo. I've added some picks. I've added some twinkle lights and some leaves in the back. And I made a funky bow. I'm telling you that Arlen teaches me all kinds of things on her YouTube channel. She's just so inspiring. So when I make these funky bows, I add some more picks, I add some lights. Notice I've got 3 different types of ribbon. It just makes them more interesting, more dimensional, and you know, so pretty. Also, I have this witch. I bought this witch in St. Jacobs a number of years ago. If you ever get the opportunity to come to Canada, Or if you live in Ontario or you travel to Ontario, I would highly recommend you visit St. Jacobs. They have fabulous stores and all kinds of different things. And my husband and I like to go a couple of times a year, and I always come home with a few wonderful treasures. And this is one of the treasures that I bought a number of years ago. So I put her on top of a cake stand. She's surrounded by some gorgeous leaves that I just bought at Michael. Again, gives it some dimension. I add a couple of little tea lights just to give it a little more fun to her, because she doesn't actually light up. I hide little things in my vignettes. I hide this little witch's hat, so cute. If you come to my home, you get to search for things in my vignettes because I hide all kinds of things. I've added a ceramic pumpkin. I love these lights from Michael's, these candles. They're just fabulous. They come on timers. They're just the best. I buy them and I have them all different kinds of colors, and I add them for my different seasons. I like these leaves. Again, had these for years from Pier 1 in the greens, in the autumn oranges and the gold, and then these funny, funky little pumpkins behind that my husband bought me a number of years ago. Then as I go across my mantle, so you'll notice it starts high, it comes down low underneath the picture that I have up there. Then I have some more ceramic pumpkins and that particular scarecrow who also lights up, but he isn't lit up right now, but that's okay. And I have added again more of these leaves from Michael's and some more, or I should say another lantern. If you're ever wondering where you can get lanterns very inexpensively, I like to buy things off of wedding swap and sell sites that are on Facebook. Because the good thing about them is you can buy things so inexpensively. Brides are often trying to get rid of things. I almost feel guilty buying it from them because I want to say to them, you know, you can use some of this stuff for crafting ideas, but I guess maybe they want to recoup some of their money. I got these so inexpensively, I can't even tell you how inexpensive it is, so it was ridiculous. So that's my mantle. Isn't it pretty? I also decorate 2 mirrored chests beside my armoire where I have my television. And you'll notice what I do here. I start in the corner, and that's a tall pumpkin. I got him from Evelyn and Crabtree when they used to do fabulous decor items. They stopped a number of years ago, unfortunately. I have a number of things from that store when they used to have fabulous merchandising for decorating. I think that scarecrow is about 20 years old, actually. And underneath him, you'll notice that I have a beautiful pumpkin from Pier 1, which is a treasured gift from a very good friend of mine named Sheila. I filled that with dollar store leaves. Like, how inexpensive is that? Some twinkling lights and a couple of witch's legs. I think the witch got stuck inside of the little pumpkin. Beside that, I have a scarecrow, and she lights up, followed by a pumpkin and welcome friends, because I always want my friends to feel welcome. Some candlesticks that I keep out all year, and yes, I've kept out the pink candles because I love them so much. Made some little bows to go on top of them that match the bows that I put on top of my lantern, and of course another scarecrow that also lights up. I have another mirrored chest on the other side of my armoire, and I decorate that in my fun and funky Halloween fall decor. So you'll notice I have this really cute little witch, and she lights up a little bit too. Isn't she cute? And notice how tall she is, gives a little bit of height. Beside her, I have a really cute tree from Avon. Actually, both of those pieces are from Avon. The little tree also makes woo woo sounds, and my little grandson loves that. And of course, I have a couple of more pumpkins in there and a little picture of my little grandson. Just take a look at him. Is he not the most beautiful little thing you've ever seen? That's his little Halloween outfit. Clearly, he's a little angel when he was born. And I do always like to add placemats or some kind of runners to my tables to keep the dust down, and also to really, bring up the decor that is on top of that, on top of my pieces. If you just leave it plain glass, there's no dimension, and so I do like to add just to give it that sort of dimension. I have another glass table, believe it or not, and it is over up against my, I guess it's like a hall, it's a passageway. And you'll notice in this one, I have this gorgeous picture of my little Ayla. Look at how beautiful she is. You might not be able to see very clearly, but my daughter was so good to me. She had a picture taken of my little Ayla, all in pink and green, which are two colors that I decorate with. I just adore that picture, and it looks like the stork just dropped her off. Also on this table, I have this fun witch, again, sitting on a cake plate, great place for her to be. This time I added some dollar store little spiders on top of the pumpkin and sort of surrounding her, and my little grandson Tennyson just thinks that's the most fun. The final thing I want to show you today, and it is actually from Costco of all places. I do make wreaths all the time. Wreaths are very expensive to make if you do them up the way that I do, and for $29.99 I thought I can embellish that and make it even more spectacular than it was. So I added this from Michael's to make the broom look, more full. The broom is actually just paper, so I just hid the paper behind it, and that pulls this out a little bit. And I made a bow, added these lights, and that's it. A very inexpensive door wreath to lead me down into my basement. And of course, underneath that, I've had this for years too. It's just fun, it's just kind of cute, but I like it there. Well, I hope you enjoyed part one of my two-part video on how I decorate my living room for the fall and for Halloween. I hope to see you again very, very soon so you can watch part two. If you have not already done so, I'd love it if you would subscribe. I'd also love it if you would click to get notifications so that you can see more of my videos. Please leave me a comment. Tell me how you decorate your house for fall or for Halloween, or maybe you combine the two like I do. After all, in Canada, Halloween and Thanksgiving are both in October, so it's nice to decorate them for one season and mix it all up like I do. Enjoyed my time with you. See you soon. Bye-bye.